Hey everybody, I'm Katie Wanger, Norwex Independent Consultant, and I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm going to be interviewing Mimi from Survivors Alliance. And speaking to her, real quick, I wanted to tell you a little bit about why Survivors Alliance caught my eye. I met Mimi at a vendor fair at a conference for business women, and she was across the way from me, and I kept looking at her banner and it just had this silhouette of a woman, and it kind of just is silhouette, but it looked helpful to me. So I walked over and I talked to her a little bit. And Survivors Alliance works with women who are coming out of sex trafficking. And my family has adopted 4 kids. Well, they're not kids anymore. They're all grown. And so that's something that's close to my heart as I've watched them struggle with the pain that comes from their background, the pain that came from their mother and the things that she passed on to them. And it's been a long journey, and some of them have found healing and some of them have not. And so that's why when I saw what Survivors Alliance was all about, I was like, this is something I want to be a part of in some way. Alliance. So Mimi, welcome. And I'm excited to hear a little bit more of what Survivors Alliance is all about. So can you
Thanks.
tell us what is?
Sure. So like you mentioned, we work with survivors of human trafficking, and we actually have it a little bit broader. We also say sexual trauma because some women who have been trafficked don't identify that as what's happened to them
Mhm.
because their traffickers have made them think it's something they've chosen, that's their fault, and that it's not trafficking. So we do we do sexual trauma and human trafficking, both. We try to keep it, but it's really mostly women who have this kind of mindset, because of what they've been through, that they are, that they're less than, that they're not worth anything to other people except for their bodies, and that's the only way that they can get by. That nobody will like them, except for just want them for that reason. And it really, that type of trauma can really just change the way you see everybody around you and yourself and the world. So I used to work as a therapist for survivors, and when I was doing that, I noticed that a lot of women, they really do want to be independent, but they have a hard time getting into the workforce because of their trauma. And so we started Sage after I left my job as a therapist. I just felt really called upon to keep working with women, and started Sage. And yeah, it's Survivors Alliance for Growth and Employment is the full name. And so
Okay.
sometimes I say Sage because it's just way shorter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we just address mostly the employment needs. So it's really hard to be independent. I mean, they want to leave the situation, right, and you want to be independent, but you're not quite ready yet because of all the hurt and trauma. And I mean, as you probably know from your family members, that PTSD symptoms can be really intrusive and really get in the way
Yes.
of your everyday life and make it hard to work.
Right.
So what we did was, we started a business. We actually employ the women with us and get them ready for the workforce. So it's a trauma-informed work environment where they're able to work and earn a wage, while learning job skills. And then we focus specifically on just regular, uh, basic soft skills that you would need to get any job, like coming to work on time, treating others with respect, being a team player, being able to receive feedback, appropriate professional attire, stuff like that. And usually the women that we work with are good on some of these things, but there's definitely areas where they need to work on them. So we employ them, we teach them those skills, we teach them how to make things, and work on computers. We have like three main kind of areas that we do in our employment program in terms of what they will do when they're at work. And then we also do case management, which helps them to uh, have, like, if they have other unaddressed needs like housing and childcare and stuff like that. it's hard to come to work if you don't have those things. So our case management
Very true.
program, yeah, our case management program helps them to get just the basic needs covered so they can stabilize so they can work. And then our career development program is something they do outside of work, which helps them kind of define their long-term career path. So we help them make a resume. We usually have them make a career plan and call different people who have done the jobs they want to do to see if they would be interested actually in doing that. Like informational interviews. They can be like,
Mhm.
sometimes we have ideas about how things are, and they're not exactly um, true to life. So they get a picture from somebody else, and usually they'll do like an internship and then part-time employment with both us and the other place, and then transfer to full-time employment so that they can be stable and take care of their families and everything and have the independence they want. So, sorry, that was a
That's
really long-winded
wonderful.
answer.
Back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
When I know that other people think this too. When I hear the word sex trafficking, when I hear that phrase, I think that's far away. Like my sister
Mhm.
went to Thailand on a missions trip and dealt with people who had been in sex trafficking. It feels like it's far away in another
Mhm.
country, maybe a third world country. But what I'm hearing you say is that it's right here.
Yeah. Yeah, so the women we serve are from, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia County. Um, so, yeah, some of them are, like, grew up in my neighborhood. It's really close by. It just looks different in the suburbs, like, in a
Hmm.
nicer area, it just looks different, when you think, uh, trafficking, there's a huge overlap with just prostitution or, what you would think of as prostitution. So obviously in a more urban area, you're gonna see women on the streets, um, more, but in a suburban area, it's, um, it's just more there's no one walking the streets, but there's places that people can go to find girls. Um,
More hidden.
More hidden, yeah, like, so strip clubs, is one place where it happens, and then, a lot of times the girls that I know that have actually worked in the area that I live in, or I say work, that's what they call it, but they've been trafficked,
Hmm.
um, were, call girls or something, someone went online to find them or knew their pimp or something like that.
Right. And I'm sure that's exploded these days with social
Mhm.
media and all the
Yeah.
avenues online.
Yep. So that's more what you're seeing out in the suburbs. It's not, but you also see a lot of more, it's like sexual exploitation where you have women who are in need in some way and someone exploits that need. So like a lot of homeless youth, like young women who if they're homeless or single moms who are like I don't have enough to pay for my family and someone will be like, "Oh, I'll take you in, I'll take care of you." And then they end up uh
Mm-hmm.
exploiting them for sex actually and saying like, "Okay, well, you have to do this or you're out or whatever." And it's
Right.
really like I know it's not that straightforward, like, there's kind of a path, by which women are groomed into it, do you know what I mean? It seems good at first, "Oh, this person's gonna take care of me," and then it turns
Right.
into this person's actually exploiting me, and there's this kind of
Right.
twisted way that they go about kind of gaining control over the women.
Gaining controls through being their savior
Yeah,
way.
right. Yeah, so it's like yeah, exactly. They see that there's a need and they say, "I'm gonna fill that need for you. I'm gonna love you and take care of you," and then it just gets twisted and
Hmm.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, it's really crazy actually.
So, how long does the average woman you work with stay in the program?
Um, that's a good question. We're relatively new. We're only a couple years old, so I don't have like
Hmm.
a huge, really good like overview. Our program is 12 to 18 months long.
Okay.
And so I would say average would probably be 12 months because we've had some women go longer and some go a little shorter than
Hmm.
12 months. So,
So, what is the benchmark that you can see that this woman is ready to leave the program?
yeah, that's a good question. We have like a checklist that we want them to have completed before they leave just based on my experience and my team's experience working with survivors because I started this with a bunch of other women who have experience working with survivors of trafficking. So, um, I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but I'll give you a few. I know they have to, we actually assess them every week and every month on some of these job skills that we talked about. They have
Hmm.
to be getting a certain level on their assessments to ensure that they're proficient in these important areas. They need to have housing. They need to have actually 3 relationships with community members that are healthy people that that are not family, um, to support them outside the program. They need to have a job, set up and started. They're supposed to show us kind of that they know how to access social, community resources if they need to.
Hmm.
Because I really want that's the thing is they can do well in our program, but the transition to independence, I really wanna make sure that they know all they need to know to be able to do that. And then let's see what else. They have to do stuff like make a resume and do informational interviews, and, we have a class that they take about, trauma, because learning about your trauma is a big part of being able to manage it.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like a lot of these things are things that every person needs to know anyhow,
Yeah.
like benefited from some of those past. But being able to manage your trauma is really like number one that
Yeah.
they need to get there before they can do all these other things.
Yep.
Um, so when a woman is ready to leave the program, what would her next step be?
So, normally we've kind of found what works the best is if they work with us part-time and the other job at the same time so we can support them in their transition,
Hmm.
and then graduating, they would be going to full-time on their own, and they have to have independent housing and stuff, set up. So, the next steps, I guess, is gonna be different depending on the person. We kinda help them figure out a long-term like a short-term and long-term career plan. So they might wanna be a nurse or something, but that's gonna take a little while.
Right.
So the short-term plan might be, get a job at a nursing home or something, and they'll do that and go to school and then get to their next, thing, and we kind of try really hard to keep them part of our community. We have monthly, get-togethers and stuff and try to keep them, close to us so that they still have a support system, even though they're not coming into work with us, that they still have us around, so
I love that you're creating that support system instead of just saying, "Oh, you graduated."
See you later. Yeah.
That's huge to have that group of people who walk alongside you, even
Mm,
though you're no longer in the program. I'm sure that's extremely helpful to these women.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Like, I know, like, when I moved from Lancaster County to the Philadelphia area, I had no support system here. And
Yeah.
it's really rough as a healthy adult without the
Mm,
trauma in my background to get on my feet and to build a community. So
yeah,
to be able to branch out with that support system is going to be extremely, extremely helpful there.
yeah.
So tell me, who is Survivors Alliance run by? You mentioned yourself and some other people that helped you start it. But
Mhm.
who's it run by? Is it run by paid people, volunteers, a mixture?
Um, it's a mixture, it's a mixture of volunteers and paid. So, the people who are in leadership positions and the job coaches and stuff, they're paid, but we do have a lot of volunteers that help with other, administrative type tasks and stuff like that. So, it's a mixture.
Okay. And so if you would want to help out,
Mhm.
how can they do that?
Um, you can call or email me, probably email me is the best thing to do. We have a
Okay.
lot of different things. I kinda try to figure out what, your interests and strengths are and match up with stuff, but we're always looking for instance, mentors for the women. They have to have a mentor with when they're with us. That's kind of like somebody who's gonna come alongside them and get together with them periodically and be a support person for them. That's a really common, you know, volunteer opportunity. We have a volunteer night at our here at our workshop like every 2 weeks, I think. Um, there's just a lot of different ways. If somebody, depending on if it wanted to be a one-time thing or a long-term
Hmm.
commitment, there's lots
Hmm.
of different things that people can do. It
Hmm.
just kind of um, just reach out and I'll see if I can get you connected to something you'd be interested in.
So where can we find your information? Do you have a website?
Hmm. Yeah, and I should probably give you it so you can put it in the notes or something
Yes,
of
I will
the
put it, I will put
Facebook.
it in the comments then.
Yeah. So our website is thesurvivorsalliance.org. And my email is mjohnson at thesurvivorsalliance.org. So through, but we also have, Facebook and Instagram if you guys want to follow us on that. And I am blanking on what those are. I think
All right,
it's,
I'll put them in the chat. You can send them to me
yeah,
and
I'll
I'll put
send
them in
them
the
to you later.
comments on the post.
Okay.
Contact form on your website too?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
so ways to contact you is there. So other than volunteering, what are some other ways that somebody could help to support Survivors Alliance?
Um, well, there's a few ways. So first of all, just spreading the word about what we're doing is very, very helpful.
Hmm.
We are a relatively new organization, and so not everyone has heard of what we're doing. So that's awesome. Just connecting us with other people or spreading the word. Of course, financial donations are always excellent. And we have, you can put this in the Facebook thing too. We have an Etsy shop, and we have what's called a fair shop. So fair is like a wholesale products site that's similar to Etsy, but it's for wholesale. And yeah, I mean Etsy, you probably know, is sells handmade items and stuff. So one of the things that women do here is they make a lot of stuff. I actually brought some stuff over to see. Okay, so they make jewelry. So I don't know if you can even be able to see it. These are earrings. They have little white flowers in them, but they make, and you saw them, Katie, when you were there.
Yes, I did.
But, and we have, let's see, this is a sea glass necklace, and we do some sewn stuff. This is an eye pillow for your eyes. This is like one of my favorite things because it smells so good. You just put it on your face. And then we also are always like trying new products. So this is one that we just did last week. It's a little magnet.
Oh,
So
that's really cute.
they learned how to make it and paint it and then put a glaze on it. Anyway, we make stuff like that every shift, and then on Etsy, you can buy stuff there. And if anyone's like a boutique owner or wants to sell wholesale our items, we have a bunch of people in the area that do that. The fair website is the place to go for that. So I
So
can
these
send you that.
these items are things that the women have made in the
Hmm.
program?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really good. It's really, I think, therapeutic, kind of.
Hmm.
We try and get them to like be involved in the product development and get their ideas about. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the process. So we get their ideas about what they want to do. Sometimes they're feasible and sometimes they're not. So that's part of them learning, right? Like that's not like this is something that will actually make us money. This something won't make us money. It's too much. There's plenty of crafts that are
Hmm.
just for fun
Hmm.
that aren't lucrative. Um, and then we'll get the stuff to try it out. And usually it takes us like a few runs of making something to really get it down to being the right process that works really well. And they're involved in all that. We ask for their input and stuff. So that's kind of fun to see them pick out and help us make things better.
That's great. So then these products you sell, and so they are a part of raising support for the
Yes.
organization.
Hmm.
That's really awesome. And to
Yeah.
have them like with the brainstorming and kind of the entrepreneurial mindset in that,
Yeah.
that's teaching them life skills as well.
Yeah. We do try to get them involved. If it depends on what their interest level is, but we try to get them involved in the business part of it as much as possible. So for instance, we actually have one woman who was doing grant writing for us because she was interested in learning how to do that. And yeah, they like marketing. Some of them have done social media posts for us, stuff like that. So they can learn the business side if they're interested. Because some women really do want to like run their own business eventually. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those. So
So am I, apparently.
last question that I thought of as you were talking here. If somebody would know a woman who needs this kind of support,
Mm.
how would they connect them to you? Would it be through that information on your website?
Yeah. Yeah, just through our contact form, and then I would probably give them a call or email them first and then set up a call. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so much, Mimi. And I am looking forward to hearing more about Survivors Alliance and
Thank you.
seeing other ways that we can be involved. I know me, myself, I may soon be looking for a way to interact with you a little bit more.
Awesome. That sounds
Um,
great.
I don't know how much time I've got, but my
I
heart is there.
understand. Yeah, we can find something that will work for you, I'm sure.
I'm sure. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And I yeah, it's been great hearing from you and about these women. And I pray that your work is blessed and that these women are finding healing.
Thank
So
you,
thanks,
Katie.
Mimi.
Thank you.